Yo guys, it's Slyroh. You already know that today we are back with another Pokemon ranking. Today we are doing Generation 2. We are almost at the end of the series. I started at Generation 9, worked my way backwards, so I only got this video and then one more to go, and then that is basically all of them. I don't think I'm doing any more after that, but who knows. Maybe if I get struck with an idea or enough comments, we can keep finding ways to rank Pokemon. But yeah, this is Generation 2. This is a game, Gold and Silver and Crystal, the originals, are probably the most nostalgic video games, maybe of all time for me. So this is going to be probably the most biased list, although I have to say, as I'm looking over, just getting a general overview, I think the roster of Pokemon is actually pretty weak. So I might have a couple of biased favorites, but I do think as a whole, the roster of Pokemon in Generation 2 is not great. Some of them have been improved since getting evolutions since, but definitely at the time that those games came out, this is a pretty weak roster, and there's a reason that even though I love the original Gold, Silver, Crystal, and of course Heart Gold, Soul Silver, I do think that, especially in the originals, your team, I don't remember having full teams of Gen 2 Pokemon. Usually there was some Gen 1 Pokemon mixed in there as well, because I just don't think that this is a roster strong enough to support itself. That being said, I don't know if there's going to be a ton of low tiers, but who knows? If you guys haven't seen any of my other ones, you know, that I rank Pokemon based on my personal preferences, usually just based on design, how cool I think they are, any memories that I have with them, different sort of stuff like that. I don't really take competitive or anything into account, and I just rank them from S to D. That is what I started with, and that is what I'm going to keep doing. There are not that many Pokemon in existence that, you know, give me so much hatred that I feel like they need to be an F tier, so that's why I don't really have one. And I just rank them in the context of Pokemon as a whole, not just in relation to each other. So if I don't feel like anything here is an S tier, then nothing will be an S tier, although that's not going to be the case. Anyway, let's go ahead and just hop into it. You know how tier rankings work, and you know what Pokemon are. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. So let's get into the starters. This should be a very interesting way to start the list. I like Chikorita. I like Chikorita a decent amount, and I am going to rank them inside the tiers as well. Chikorita is kind of just a solid B tier for me. I think Chikorita is the one that I feel gives you, I mean, in terms of challenge in Pokemon games, I do think Chikorita is the harder option, just because the first two gym leaders are just super effective against Chikorita, so you're not really going to be able to rely on it. And I don't think there's that many gyms that Chikorita is good against. You know, by the time you get to Jasmine, you're getting walled off by the you know, Price or Bryce? Wow, I think it's Price, the Ice Gym leader. You know, even the Dragon Gym, it's just Chikorita is not really helping you through a lot of gyms, so I would generally find myself choosing it just to be oh, I'm gonna choose the quote-unquote hard mode, because I don't know, that's the way that I used to see it. I don't know if I would still say that now, but either way, I think they're all actually just going to go into the B tier. I do think Bayleaf is the best one, but I do like Meganium. They're all solid. They're all very solid. They're just good grass types. Obviously, you have the Chikorita and the Bayleaf from the anime. I did watch, I think, a good bit of the Gold and Silver anime, so some of that can also play a factor into some of my choices here. And yeah, they're just solid options. So I think they're all going to be B tier. And for the first and only time in the series, all starters in one line are going into the S tier. Probably in this order. I love the Cyndaquil line. It is my favorite starter of all time. It is the most nostalgic. This is a game, like many others, that does not really it doesn't give you that many fire types to work with. I'm pretty sure all the fire types that are available in Gold and Silver is just oh, you can get a Vulpix or a Growlithe, and then good luck getting a Firestone, because that's a random chance. I don't remember if you can get a Magmar in either of those games, and if you can, it's a pretty low chance. You have Slugma. You just don't have a ton of good fire type options, and so Cyndaquil was a staple. Cyndaquil is also very, very cute. Quilava is just really cool, and then Typhlosion is just more cool, and there's just literally no downsides to any of them. I just think they're awesome. I have so many memories of using them in game, because they're just the best fire type by so much compared to anything else in this game. Yeah, this is just straight up S tier. My favorite starters of all time, as a whole. I don't know individually if Typhlosion is my favorite starter, but just as a whole, this is my favorite starter line. And yeah, I'm a big fan. Totodile, this is gonna be a weird line. I think Totodile, I either want to put it in the top of B or low A, because Totodile is also very cool. You also have the anime factor for that. I'm gonna come back to that because Crocodile is D. I don't like the way Crocodile looks. I don't vibe with it. It looks very derpy and goofy. It hasn't really grown into its full form, and I don't know, I'm not a big fan. For Alligator, I'm also like, it's kind of between B and C. It is a good Pokemon, but like, I don't know how to describe it. It's just like shaped weird, and then especially you have the infamous back sprite, where it just looks like it's, you know, you're looking at its butt the whole game. Which I don't know. I'm just not super into that, but if you are, then cool, you do you. I don't know. I just feel like they've done Crocodile Pokemon better, and it just looks funky. Like I don't know. So I never super vibed with the Totodile line. I think Totodile is the best, and then it just goes down from there. Actually, the more that I think about it, I think Totodile is going into A, because I do like it like a lot more than the Chikorita line. But the Chikorita line, I like the evolutions more. So yeah, that's where we're going. All right, early game Pokemon. This is the ever, you know, the everlasting question of B or C between how strongly do I feel. Do I feel nothing from these Pokemon? Do I feel something? I feel like I feel basically nothing from Sentret. Furret's a little bit better. But like they're just there. They exist. But that's about it. And it doesn't help that like Gen 3 has like Zigzagoon and Linoon, which are like kind of similar in my mind, but they just have a little bit more personality, which really just like makes these two feel like almost irrelevant. Who can go into the B tier? Noctowl definitely. I think I might even put Noctowl above the Chikorita line, because Noctowl just looks really cool. I mean, owls are cool, like the colors. You know, it's just very, very good. I mean, it's not a great Pokemon, but it is, you know, a good early game choice. And I like it. I like both of these. Let's just put them next to each other. I was like, Hoot also has like the one leg thing, which is cool. They're both neat in their own rights. Ledybot, who cares? I sure don't. Ledian is really not good at all. No. I was like, do I feel that much stronger about it? No, I don't. It's kind of like a whatever Pokemon. Spinarak, I don't really like spiders, so that kind of doesn't help here. I do actually kind of like Ariados. I think Ariados is actually going to go into B. I think Spinarak is probably going to stay in like C though, just because it's a tiny green spider, and I feel like if it existed in real life, I would be terrified. Ariados is just so much bigger than like what a normal spider would be that like I don't really see it as much as a spider. It looks more like a Pokemon. This is just like, oh, it sort of creeps me out. Even though the coloring is good, but like the red, purple, yellow is also fantastic with like the bigger horn. I actually really like Ariados. Crobat is probably an A tier. I think Crobat's really, really cool. I mean, the purple bat, really just the purple is so much better than Golbat and Zubat that it comes from, and those aren't even bad Pokemon at all. But Crobat's definitely the best of them. Yeah, I don't really have much more to say. It just looks cool, and you know, Poison is cool, I guess. I don't know. I feel like I was gonna go into like a way better explanation, that I just lost it. I think Sinchao is kind of like almost a forgettable Pokemon to me. I feel like I almost forget it exists, but I also really just like electric types. And it is also somewhat unique among like just water types, especially around this time. So I think it's gonna go in the bottom of B. And Lantern, I remember getting some use out of it when I used to play competitive, which was a lot of fun. I think Lantern, I actually have enough attachment to it that I almost want to put it in A. It's on that like bottom of A, top of B, sort of teetering. But I do really like Lantern. Yeah, I mean, the fish that it's based on is obviously really cool. And the water electric, very cool. I don't know. I do like it. Pichu is one of the few baby Pokemon that I actually do like. I think I'm going to put it in B, though. Just because, I don't know, like, it's cute. I mean, I don't know. Using Pichu in, like, Super Smash is pretty funny as well. Does that affect how much I like it as Pokemon? Probably. Why wouldn't it? Anything's fair game. I struggle to see why I would like it so much more than Chikorita, but I like Pichu. It's definitely B tier. Ones that I don't really like as much. Cleffa's on the border of like C and D. I don't think it's like offensive in any way. I guess it's kind of cute, so that can be bottom of C tier. I don't like Igglybuff. Igglybuff looks dumb. I don't really care for the spiral and like the colors. I don't know. Like Jigglypuff is fine, Wigglytuff is fine. They've never even been my favorites, but like I didn't need more of them. And it just looks worse than something like Cleffa. They're actually probably in similar things, but I think Cleffa is just a better design. Togepi's fine. Anime Togepi is good. You know, its whole metronome shtick is fun. Did I ever really want to use it? It's not very good. Actually pretty bad. Yeah, I think Togepi's kind of forgettable in the grand scheme of things. And then Togetic is also like same thing. I think Togetic looks a little bit better, but it's like not very good. The fact that they're now fairy types is a little bit better. Helps them stand out a little bit more. But the only reason for them to exist now is for Togekiss. So yeah, I don't know. Don't really have much for them. So yeah, I think C is fine. Natu and Xatu, or however you pronounce that. I feel like I've heard Xatu and I don't like that at all, so Xatu. Definitely at least B. When I think of like birds, I was like, nah, I think I like both of them more than I like the Hoot Hoot Noctowl thing. But I'm just not willing to put them in A tier. They don't scream A tier for me, but psychic types are very cool. I feel like they're unique among psychic types, you know, the thing that they're based on is very cool. I like the design, but yeah, I think that's a good spot for him. I think it's a good spot for him. Mareep, okay, I think Ampharos Once Upon a Time. Oh, also I'm not doing Mega Evolutions, so this tier list has like Mega Evolutions here, but I'm, you know, just kind of putting them all down here because I'm not ranking those. Once Upon a Time, I think Ampharos would have been an S tier. I think as time has gone on, I think I would still put Mareep and Ampharos at like the top of A, because they are really good. If you're looking for an electric type to use, this is basically your only real option, your only like good option. I think at some point you can get a Voltorb, which is like not very good, especially in the original Gold and Silver when it like didn't even learn an electric move, I don't think, or at least not for a very long time. I don't remember when you could get a Magnemite. That might be the only other like solid option. I don't remember Lantern being easy to come across either. But yeah, you know, you come across Mareep literally in like the route right after the first gym. And you can find use for it. Flaffy, I do think the colors are just not as good. I would actually put Flaffy probably actually like way down. You know, I actually just don't really care about Flaffy at all. I like Mareep. Mareep is a cute little sheep. Got the blue and the yellow wool, and then you have the yellow Ampharos, you know, Ampharos being Ampharos. And it's just a lot better. The middle step, not my favorite, but Ampharos still very good. Man, I wonder. I was like, we really might not have that many S tiers. We shall see. Blossom. I like Blossom. I think Blossom's gonna go like low B tier. It's just neat. You know, it's got its little flowers and dancing thing. I like it. It's neat. That's really all I have to say. Meryl. I think Meryl's gonna kind of go like right below Chikorita. I like Meryl. It isn't anything like super amazing, but I do like it. Azumarill definitely, now that it's fairy type or part fairy type, is definitely helped it. But I do think Azumarill is just better Meryl. It looks better. It's stronger. Is it so much better? Like, not really. You know, I think I'm just gonna put it next to it. It's a good Pokemon, but it's like it's not anything like incredible or crazy. Sudowoodo is kind of funny, not all that good, but obviously the first time that you fight it, it is very memorable. You know, squirting it with the squirt bottle, having it come to life and attacking you, seeing it in the anime, it's pretty funny. I think I would put it in B tier. I think probably right above Blossom. I think it has a little bit more going for it. So it's really nice. Politoed is a Pokemon that I don't really have that much experience with. I honestly don't know that I've ever used it. Trying to get one when you don't have friends to trade with is basically impossible. So, but I do like it. I would say as a water type, I probably like it more than Azumarill, but I don't think I could put it that much higher. It's a line of Pokemon that I do like, but I feel like Politoed is kind of a little bit more forgettable for me. I always kind of forget that that's included in like the Poly line. But I like it. You know, it's a happy little guy. This line of Pokemon is like, they're objectively so trash, but like that kind of adds to the charm for me. I don't know. I like Hoppip. Hoppip can go like right up here. Something about it just being so weak that when you catch it, it doesn't even have an attacking move is pretty funny. I like the way, you know, like in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, like when they're just flying around, like, you know, I think there was also a movie where there was a bunch of Hoppip, and the way that they twirl their like propeller things was really funny and really nice. I don't know, I just like them. Skiploom is like, I don't know, similar. Skiploom doesn't have as much personality going for it, but that's okay with me. I think I'm actually gonna put it lower. I'd probably take even Velocity over Skiploom. But then Jumpluff, I actually really like Jumpluff. Something with like the pom-pom like cheerleader thing that's happening here. I don't know. It's also really fast for like no reason. I do like Jumpluff a decent amount. That I think in my very first you know, draft league that I did, I drafted Jumpluff to try and make it work. I don't really remember making it work, but it was fun to try. So I'll always have that as well. But I think it can stay at the bottom of A tier. Apom is a Pokemon that doesn't really do anything for me. I think I'll put it at the top of C tier. It's not that bad. I think Ambipom's a little bit better. But especially without an evolution, Apom is just like, what are you doing here? Sunkern's only claim to fame is that it randomly falls from the sky, I think. So I definitely would put that maybe in this area. Sunflora is one that I actually think I used to have like a little like Sunflora either eraser or some sort of figure. So it does hold a little bit of nostalgic value. I think it's one of the easier grass types to get. It's just Sunstone. I don't remember. I feel like a Sunstone is like not impossible to get in Gen 2. I don't super remember. But I don't know if I could put Sunflora over the Chikorita line. But I just think of it like as grass types. It's like, no, I think I'd say I'd like these three more than Sunflora, but I'll put some space between Sunflora and Sunkern. Yanma, before Yanmega existed, Yanma is just like not necessary at all. It's not very good. It's like, what's the point of it existing? Because it does go into Yanmega now, it at least has a reason to exist. Which probably bumps it from what would have been a C tier to the very bottom of B tier, because at least it goes into Yanmega, and Yanmega is an incredible Pokemon. I love it so much. Another Pokemon that I love is Wooper. Let's see. I think Wooper goes. I think Wooper's gonna go at the top of A tier. Does Quagsire go into that S tier? Does it go into that S tier? I feel like if a Pokemon's going to go into S tier, I shouldn't be questioning it this much. I'm gonna put it at the top of A tier. Quagsire is a lot of fun. You know, look at that big smile. How can you hate, you know, Quagsire? Wooper I think is also fun because it has punching moves without any arms, so that's always fun. But Quagsire is just like actually like solid, pretty good, and it was a good Pokemon to use. I think in terms of the water types in this game that you have like any sort of access to, I do think this is like the best one, at least in terms of Gen 2. So yeah, I don't know. I like Quagsire. All right, I've already gone to my evolution thing before, where every evolution is just an A tier. They're all good. I would say now I need to figure out where exactly they get ordered. I think these are two of the strongest ones. Umbreon is my favorite evolution, just because of the black and yellow, dark typing. It's very, very good. I honestly might even put it at the top of A tier, and then Espeon, maybe. Do I just put it right next, or do I create some space? No, I think it's going right next to it. These two are definitely two of the stronger evolutions in my mind. I hate trying to be like, like ordering evolutions because I feel like it changes so much. Umbreon is definitely number one, and I think Espeon is like almost always consistently at least a like top half evolution for me. So I think that works for me. Murkrow is pretty cool. It's another one that like doesn't really have a reason for existing before Honchkrow because it's not that strong. But it does look cool. I think I'm gonna put it right under Ariados because it like looks cool. It's not that good. There's a dark type that I like more. I don't know. I think B tier is just a solid spot for it. Slowking without the Lugia movie, I feel like doesn't do much for me. It's another Pokemon that I just didn't really have access to because I didn't have friends to trade with, and you need the King's Rock trading and all that sort of stuff. I don't know if it's as good as something like Slowbro. I do think it is going to go into B tier, probably just around this area. Like, it's a good Pokemon. It's actually really good. Psychic type's good, but I don't know. It loses a little bit of its derpy personality, and maybe that's a good thing for some people. But I don't know. I feel like it actually, I don't know. We'll see when we get to Slowpoke, Slowbro, but I don't think they're that different. It's just a solid Pokemon. Misdreavus. I think Misdreavus looks pretty cool. I like the ghost types. I like the blue and like purple pink things. Good color combination. And I think when I like see it sort of like around like the Hoot area, I think that looks right. I think that looks right. Misdreavus is pretty cool. Unknown is like, I guess the idea of like the different letters and stuff is cool. In practice, it's not all that great. Because they're not very good. They know one move. You know, the Ruins of Alpha is pretty cool with like the different puzzles, but like, I don't know. I don't know how much I can attribute that to just like Unknown's existence. So I think I'm gonna put Unknown just kind of like pretty low. Like, I don't hate that it exists, but there doesn't need to be as many of them as there are, and they don't really do anything with the gimmick much anymore. Not that it would be much better if they did. So I don't know. Unknown C tier. Wobbuffet's also gonna go into C tier, I think. I don't mind its existence, but it's not a Pokemon that I really enjoy using because it can't really attack, so that sort of takes away a lot of value for it. It does look sort of weird. The lipstick on the female ones looks kind of off-putting, like not natural, whereas like, I don't know, usually gender differences in Pokemon, they look a lot more natural. And like the male and female Wobbuffet does not at all. It's I don't know, it's very weird. It's not a Pokemon that I vibe with all that much. Girafarig is a Pokemon that I vibe with, though. This is probably just staying in B tier. I think I would say that I like Xatu more as a Psychic type. I'm just gonna keep going down until it feels right. Probably right around here. Girafarig is very cool. Obviously, it has an evolution now, but I like the colors. I like the little tail thing. It's solid. It's not that great of a Pokemon, and I feel like I remember that you couldn't get one until pretty far into your Johto journey. But it's still a solid Pokemon nonetheless. Pineco's fine. I think Pineco's a B tier. I think I'm finding that there's just a lot of B tier. Like, there's a lot of Pokemon that I'm just like, oh yeah, these are cool. I like this. I think it's gonna be on the slightly lower end, maybe like around here. And then I think Fortress is basically the exact same. I don't have strong feelings about Fortress. I do like the colors. This is one of the earlier Steel types that existed, but I mean, it's not all that good. But design-wise, you know, not really offensive. I like it. Dunsparce. I feel like I'm gonna put Dunsparce top of C. At one point, I think I would have put it higher. I think like using a Dunsparce actually, I remember using it in Gold and Silver, and it will take you a lot farther than you expect it to. But it's not gonna carry your team. Obviously, it's not that good. Design is like whatever. It's just a normal type, not super exciting. So at this point, I just don't think that Dunsparce does much for me. Gligar, I think does more to at least put it in the B tier. I don't think it's gonna go super high. I think maybe like right under here. I think until Gliscor was made, Gligar was another one that just didn't really have that much going for it. It does have a cool typing, I guess. You know, like ground flying is not something that you would immediately think of being able to be a thing. That was neat that they did that. The little scorpion tail, like it has some things going for it. I think the color could be a little bit darker, would be a little bit better, but I think it's solid as is. Steelix, I've kind of gone back and forth on. I think Steelix, a long time ago, I made a video with my 10 least favorite Pokemon, and Steelix was on that list. I definitely don't feel that strongly about it anymore. I'm not ranking it, but especially with Mega Steelix is pretty decent. So I think Steelix is one that probably would have been in the D tier a long time ago, but I think now it is done enough to at least come up into the C tier, maybe like around here. I do think its mouth is still very weird, and like the way that its teeth is shaped and everything, it's just like, I don't know, I don't really like it, but like the steel body, the eyes, everything up until you get to the mouth is pretty cool. And I don't know, steel types are just interesting in general, so I think that's gonna put it to C tier. Snubbull is a Pokemon that I've always found kind of annoying. Probably just because of the anime. And I don't know, just the way it looks. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan. I think I'm gonna put it at the bottom of C tier. Now that Snubbull, Granbull are Fairy type, I think that helped do something for it. Granbull is a little bit better, probably just because I like purple more than pink, and it looks a little bit more intimidating than something like Snubbull, which is just like, I don't know, whatever. Granbull is probably going to B tier, but not very high into the B tier. Probably like low B tier, like right around there. It's a solid Pokemon. It's pretty strong. Purple better than pink, but not enough to push it any higher than that. Willfish is cool. I think I'm just gonna put that at the bottom of B tier. I like it. The lips are a little bit off-putting, but the eyes, the other coloring with the blue and yellow, is good. Now it has like an evolution, so it's better. I don't know. I like Quillfish. It's a solid Pokemon. All right, I think Scizor is where we finally get another S tier. I really like Scizor. You know, the Bug Steel type, the red armor. We'll get to it, but I'm already a big fan of Scyther, and Scizor is also just really, really cool. I mean, just look at it. Look at how cool it looks. Look at its eyes. Look at its everything. It's just really, really good. I didn't get a lot of chances to use it because that's another Trait Evolution one, but you know, Scizor is just one that is the rule of cool, just overrules anything bad you can say about it. Shuckle is also rule of cool, but we're gonna put that more in like the B tier, because Shuckle is one of those that is kind of frustrating to use because it's not very good. It has no offense at all, so I've tried to make Shuckle work in game and it just doesn't. But I like that it exists. It's kind of cute. It's kind of funny. I like it. Heracross. I think Heracross goes into the A tier. This is one that, like, I feel like once upon a time could have been an S tier. You have the Heracross in the anime. That was cool. You know, bug fighting, good typing. Fighting types in general, I find to just be hard to hate. But this isn't one of my all-time favorites. But it's kind of gone between being one of my favorites and just one that I think very highly of. To the point that right now I think I just think very highly of it. So we'll put that in A tier. Sneasel's also going in A tier. Weavile is one of my favorite Pokemon. Sneasel I already liked. Even without an evolution, it at least, you know, did something. Probably like right here. Do I like Sneasel more than Heracross? Probably not. But like it's pretty fast. It has a decent attack, and even like you know, the Ice Dark cool typing, the color is very good. I think it works on its own even before getting evolution. Obviously, getting the evolution makes it even better, and then Weavile is even better. But Sneasel on its own is still a really, really good Pokemon. Okay, Teddiursa. Teddiursa is very cute. I think we're actually going to go like bottom of A tier cute. No, I think Teddiursa I actually like more than Totodile. Straight up, it's just very cute. It's just a bear. Like what's not to like? What's not to like? Ursaring, a little bit better, but like honestly, I feel like Mareep should actually just go like that. It should be something like this. Like Ampharos better than Ursaring, but I do like these two more than Mareep. Yeah, I mean it's just a big scary bear. Like what's not to like? I don't know. It's cool. It's cool. I like it a lot. Slugma nuts. This is going into the B tier. Like right. Actually a little bit higher than I expected. Probably like right around here. Slugma and Macargo are basically the same. You know, there's not that much difference between them. Macargo is hotter than the sun, which is fun. But that being said, they're not like incredible Pokemon by any means. So they exist. They're cool. They're actually pretty hot. But yeah, I like fire types, so that works. Swinub, Piloswine, definitely once upon a time. This would have been like S tier for me, like easy S tier. I think at this point, Swinub is, I don't know, it sort of lost its luster for me. I don't really care much about Swinub itself. It's probably just because of like the nose. It's the main thing. Nah, let's just put you to the top of C tier. I think at this point I just don't care that much about Swinub. Piloswine, I do like. It has like more of the hair, so like yes, it still has like the nose, but also has like the tusks. You know, it's a little bit more useful. I don't know, Ice Ground. I just, Swinub doesn't do as much for me. Piloswine does, but it's going to be the very bottom of A tier. I would still say that I like Chumpluff more. So that works for me. Corsola is a Pokemon that I like in concept, but I feel like it doesn't really do anything for me. It's just sort of there. It exists. So I'm gonna put it pretty high in C tier because I feel like there's a world where I like it, but you know, it is pretty happy, but it's not very good. That's the main thing. It's not very good. I feel like it's not very easy to find. I don't have a lot of memories attached to it. It's just there. Remoraid. I think Remoraid I like more than Quillfish. Like, barely. It's cool. It's just a fish. I don't know. But then Octillery. Octillery is really cool. I like Octillery a lot. I think Octillery is going to go in the A tier right above Piloswine. Octazooka, very cool. Red Octopus. I mean, what's not to like? It's good. Delibird is a gimmick that I've never really cared for. I'm actually going to put it a little bit lower. Like right around here. Like, it's not offensive. It's like present thing is funny, but it makes it hard to use, especially back in the day. I don't know. It's just a little ice bird. It's fine, but I've never really vibed with its gimmick all that much, so meh. Mantine. Mantine's kind of a Pokemon that also just, like, why do you exist? I think I've come to appreciate it a little bit more over the years. But I think I would still have a hard time putting it any... Nah, I like Mantine more than Remoraid. Okay. I was like, maybe there's some of these that should go into C tier. I will reevaluate a little bit later. But I would say that I like Mantine. So there's at least that. Skarmory. Skarmory is one that's probably going to A tier. Once upon a time could have been an S tier, but I don't think so anymore. Skarmory, not great offensively, at least not in any times that I've used it. Yeah, we'll put it right around there, but it is a steel bird, which is really cool. The metallic look, the silver and red, it's like fierce looking eyes and jaw. It is really, really cool, so I do like it. But maybe any sort of memories that I have just really sort of fallen off over time. I don't know. They did make a decent amount of Gen 2 Megas, didn't they? I kind of forgot how many there were. Yeah, I don't really have anything more to say about that. Houndour, the fire type that isn't even available in Johto. The first time that you have a chance to get it is like halfway through Kanto somewhere, in Gold and Silver. I don't know if they changed that in Heart Gold, Soul Silver. I don't remember. Or what other games you can get that. So it's kind of unfortunate that this Pokemon almost gets, like, overlooked. I don't know, like, I sort of forget that it's there because, like, it was barely ever available in-game, but I do like it. Dark Fire, obviously very good. I think Houndour and Houndoom are going to end up at the exact same spot. I'm trying to see. It's not staying here. It's definitely going above Piloswine. I'm just trying to figure out how much higher. I think I'm going to put it above Totodile, and I think somewhere like that, I think works. I like the Dark Fire type. I think in terms of dogs, they look way cooler than something like Gramble. That's about all I have. Okay, we're getting pretty close to the end here. Kingdra I think is another A tier. I definitely would say that I like it more than Octillery. I think Kingdra can actually go maybe right above Skarmory. And Kingdra's actually really cool. Yeah, no, Kingdra's gonna go like right there. Look at this just like line of like blue. There's a lot of good blue Pokemon, I guess. Decent amount of blue Pokemon in general from this generation. Kingdra Water Dragon, very cool. Obviously, you're always gonna remember Claire's Kingdra and how hard it is to beat if you don't have the right things for it. It just has that presence. It's very good. I like it a lot. Phanpy is definitely like high A tier. Like, I probably even like it more than Wooper. I struggle to say that I like it more than Quagsire, but I do think that I like it more than Wooper. Donphan, however, is high S tier. I think Donphan might actually be my favorite Pokemon from this generation. It's very simple, but like, look at how cool it looks with the, like, you know, the tire things, the tusks. It just looks fearsome. The way that it uses rollout and like rolls everywhere is really, really good. It just hits on every level. It's a good ground type. I love Donphan a lot. Oregon 2, I do also really like a lot. I think this is going to be an A tier. Probably right around this area. I really come to like Porygon, especially Porygon 2 and Porygon Z. I think both of them are fantastic. It's just a shiny duck, basically. The big rubber ducky. I like Porygon 2. It's solid. Stantler's a Pokemon that I like. Yeah, Stantler's a Pokemon that I like. Probably like around here. It's pretty low B tier, but it is B tier. I like it. It doesn't really do all that much, but you know, it's just a reindeer basically, and I like it. Doesn't really have that much. Smeargle is another Pokemon, kind of like Delibird, where I've just never vibed with the gimmick. Trying to like sketch your opponent's moves and I don't know, still not be good. It's just like whatever. It's the Pokemon that like any trainer that is like an artist or whatever is gonna have, and then I don't know. I guess the way it can be used against you can be fun, but like I don't know. I've never super vibed with its gimmick. It's just like a painter. It's fine. You know, its existence isn't like terrible, but like whatever. Tyrogue is another one of these like actually good baby Pokemon. I think I still like Ariados more. Probably a little bit lower. I think I'd put it above Glagger though. It's kind of hard to get, but I do like that they sort of developed the Hitmonchan, Hitmonlee gimmick into including Tyrogue, having the option to go into 3 different Pokemon, because then you also have Hitmontop. Hitmontop is a Pokemon whose respect I've gotten more respect for over the years. I used it in a draft league once, and it had a lot of fun with it. It was pretty good. Its upside down spinning thing is really cool. The one generation where it sort of has like the Brazilian jiu-jitsu or whatever that style of martial arts that it kind of copies is. I remember that. I don't know if they still do that or not. That's pretty cool. I think around this area is pretty good for it. I think I've already talked on fighting types and how it's really hard to do them wrong, and I think Hitmontop is really cool. Tyrogue is just like, you know, not an offensive baby Pokemon, and they actually do something good with the idea of it, instead of just being like, oh, let's just make this Pokemon but like smaller and worse, you know, looking at like these two. And Smoochum is also in that. Smoochum is probably my least favorite Pokemon from this generation. It is like, I don't know, it just doesn't need to exist. Like the little yellow hair, the lips, like, I don't know, I just don't really like it. I don't vibe with it. Elekid is definitely the best baby Pokemon of all time. It's going to go in the A tier because it's still a baby Pokemon, and I don't think it's going to go any higher than this, but I do like electric types. I do like Electivire, Electabuzz, and this just, you know, actually works. So I don't really like baby Pokemon, but Elekid is definitely the best one. Magby, probably a C tier. I just don't think it looks very good, is the main thing. I think I would put it probably like down here. Like, it's whatever. At least it goes into something better. You know, you can get a Magmar out of it, which is great. But Magby doesn't really do anything for me. Miltank is a cow. That's about all I have for you. Obviously, you're going to remember going against Whitney's Miltank. It's so much faster than it has any reason to be. I don't know, it has this sort of presence that carries it. I mean, obviously, you can make all the jokes you want, but Miltank is just a solid Pokemon. I don't have anything against it. It's fine. Blissey. Let's see. I think Blissey's pretty good. I think this is going to be another low B tier. I just, I like it. I don't love it. I think I like it more than Chansey. You know, just this big blob of HP. Is basically what Blissey is. I like it. I don't know. You got the Nurse Joy assistant, because I know Blissey did that in the same way Chansey did. I don't know. They're not that much different, honestly. But yeah, that looks fine. Now these three very interesting. I think they're gonna go. Well, Raikou is at least gonna go into A tier. I'm actually recording this like right after, like a day or two after that new Raikou form was released, which might be my least favorite thing I've ever seen ever. It's really, really bad. But this normal Raikou form, I'm just deciding where to put it in A tier. At this point, I think I like Raikou more than Ampharos. I don't know if I want to put it that much higher. I think I like Kingdra more. But, I mean, the yellow with, like, the black little stripe things is very cool, with, like, the purple thing on top. Its face, like, the electric tail. It's got a lot of good things going for it. It doesn't stand out as much as the other two, which is unfortunate, because I do think that it's, like, just as good. Man, this one's tough. This one's tough. I think Entei is going to be the one that goes into the S tier, and I kind of want to just like group them all together here, or talk about them all at the same time. I think Suicune. I mean, the ribbon tail is like a little bit weird. Like I like the electric tail a little bit more, but the blue and purple is also a good combination here. I still think that I like Suicune more. I think it would go Entei than Suicune than Raikou. I think these two are not that far apart, and then Entei used to be a lot higher. Is there any reason for it to go any higher than it is now? I don't know. I think I like Scizor more. So Entei is just barely gonna sneak in there. Obviously, it has the movie, a very, very good movie that it comes from. So yeah, I don't know. I think that just looks right for me. But I do like my fire types, and so that's probably the main thing that puts Entei on top. Even though I also really like my electric types. I don't know. I also feel like when I would like come across these wild Pokemon or whatever, when you have the ability to just like run across them randomly, I feel like Entei was the one that would always show up as well. So I feel like there's some extra memories in there from that as well. All right, we are almost at the end of this. Larvitar is definitely going in the A tier, probably like up here. Like I really like Larvitar. You know, the color is really cool. The face that it makes is very cool. Pupitar is definitely like a downgrade. Like who cares? Kind of like right around here. I don't know. It doesn't look very good. It is just there. It is what it is. But then obviously you get Tyranitar out of it. Tyranitar is an S tier and probably right around there. I do think I like Donphan more, but like not that much more. I mean, Tyranitar is just a big dinosaur. I love dinosaurs. Big Godzilla monster. It's really good. The color's great. Size great. It just does a lot of great things. Lugia, Pokemon the movie 2000 is like my favorite Pokemon movie of like all time. I love Lugia. It's like the main reason that I liked Pokemon Silver, or like why I would always gravitate to Pokemon Silver over Pokemon Gold. That Dante is my favorite. I think Lugia might be I think Lugia is actually my favorite Pokemon from this generation. Yeah, that just looks right. Lugia, there's just so much nostalgic attachment to like what Lugia is. So yeah, that's fine. Ho-Oh is actually a Pokemon I used to dislike a lot. Like it probably would have been like low C, maybe even D tier. Over time, I've come to really, really like it. To the point that I might actually even put it in like A tier. Actually, I've really come around on Ho-Oh. I like the colors. The fire bird aspect of it is just really cool, and the way that it's at the top of the one tower, it just has a lot of good things going for it. Unfortunately, I mean, I still do dislike Lugia more, and that also sort of doesn't help it, but over time I've really come around on Ho-Oh. I also never really vibed with the name, but I think I don't mind it anymore. So that's that. And then the final Pokemon that we're going to talk about is Celebi. Celebi is going to go in the A tier. I also really, really like the Celebi movie. I think I'm going to put it like right there. I just think it looks neat. I really like the movie that it comes from. And it just looks good. And the Grass Psychic, I like Psychic types. I just think it's really, really cool. I don't really have much more to say than that. So, okay. I think a little bit of my nostalgic bias shows a little bit with how many of these Pokemon did actually end up in A and B tier. There's only some in C, and I feel like in a different generation, a lot of like, from like here on could have been in C tier. But I think my nostalgic bias and the fact that some Pokemon have gotten evolutions since, or changes to their typing since, like bumped them into B tier compared to a C tier. And then not that many D tier, that is about what I expected. There are not that many Pokemon that I dislike from this generation, but there's not as many S tiers as some of the other ones. So I think Gen 2 has a solid overall roster. It just doesn't have as many high-end things outside of a couple, and not as many low-end things. It's very just middle heavy. So that is my feelings on the Generation 2 Pokemon. Let me know some of your opinions, some of your favorites, some of your least favorites, any hot takes that you have, or any hot takes that you think I have that you want to react to. I appreciate all comments whenever I get them. And yeah, hopefully you're excited. We got one more video to do where we're going to do the Gen 1 Pokemon. That is sure to be very exciting. This is really like right in the middle of my nostalgia. Gen 1, obviously very nostalgic with the anime, and how many of them have been incorporated in games since, you know, not counting the original, which is already a nostalgic game for me. So yeah, Gen 1 should be a very interesting video. Hopefully you are looking forward to that. That should be coming either next week or within the next couple weeks. And then we'll be done with this sort of series that has sort of happened. So hopefully you have been enjoying. If you have other ideas for like tier list series or anything else that you would like to see in some of these Saturday videos, let me know. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. So until next time, peace out.